I've always been super into making videos and content and editing, and especially the past few years, especially the past few months with AI coming out,
Oh yeah,
it is so freaky, man. I think
it's
in the
crazy, huh?
very near future, you might be making tutorials on how to make AI make the videos for you.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, that's coming for sure.
That
And
is
there,
so great. Have you seen so you can already do people's voices. AI can do other people's voices,
hmm
and we can already kind of do people's faces and like the visuals of them right already.
yeah,
So it is not going to be long until you literally don't have to pick up a camera yourself. You'll just tell AI, make a video of me doing this thing.
yeah, yep. It's wild to even think about the future with that, man. Because if you have a AI model that's trained well, we've been talking about just internally, like, can we train Stable Diffusion or something like that to, um, can we give them a bunch of pictures of me and then we can just generate thumbnails
Yeah.
with my face on it without having to take a photo every time,
Yeah.
which is just like blows my mind. And that's not even that cool, compared to, like, oh yeah, show me running down the street and a spaceship picks me up and blows me
Yeah.
into bits or whatever. And man, it's just not that far away.
Yeah, and if we can do that, if we can make a new thumbnail of you, I mean, video is just a bunch of pictures put together, right? We
Yep.
could literally make a podcast like this. You could be sitting here, AI could be moving you around, nodding your head like that right now. This could all be AI generated.
Crazy. So
It
crazy.
it is so insane, man. I really wonder what the process is going to look like for Hollywood movies, for example, once AI just goes crazy.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They just won't have to, if they forget a shot or they need to reshoot something, they'll just fix it with AI, you
Yeah.
know, and it'll probably be pretty good. You know, it's
That
just,
is so freaky, man. Do you
yeah.
worry that AI might take over your job eventually?
Um, I think that it's going to be a tool just like everything else. Um, there are certain things that, yeah, AI will take over, you know, um, we'll be able to generate graphics and templates and things like that just without a whole lot of work. And I think there'll definitely be an aspect of that where like some of it is lost, right? Some of that creativity. But I think there's always going to be a market for people to make their own custom stuff. And um, it's like eventually it's going to be, I think, one of those things where it's almost like hipster sort of like, oh wow, you made this all yourself. Like,
Mm,
it's the same reason why, you would make a hand drawn animation nowadays of like, not everybody needs to do that, but it's really cool when you do, and I
yeah.
think it's like our normal way of filmmaking and stuff is going to be looked at like that, the same way that we look at somebody's like, oh, they shot that on film and they used a photochemical process for like everything they did. That's really cool. They don't need to do it. It's not even as high quality as what you would do with digital, but it's an artistic kind of choice.
Yeah.
So I wonder how far it's going to be in that realm of like, oh yeah, instead of just generating a video for this, we actually had somebody make one.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wild.
but even that is probably going to be hard to tell. Like people could just lie and say, "Hey, I made this all by myself," but in reality, could have all been AI.
Yeah. And I mean, and I think where it's going to be really useful is just the AI assisted tools where it's not like, okay, I'm going to generate a whole video, but it's like I'm going to shoot, three-quarters of this video and all of the backgrounds are replaced using AI.
Mm,
And so I still need to know what I'm doing, but I don't have to work as hard,
yeah.
and we're already seeing that. I mean, in all kinds of software, Resolve has a way of tracing somebody out, which you would have to do by hand a few years ago. Now it just recognizes the person and perfectly traces them out. I mean, not perfectly, but like pretty darn good,
Mm,
as good as you could do in any reasonable amount of time. Yeah, trace somebody out, and so that kind of stuff is already helping a lot of people.
yeah. It's freaky that a couple of years ago, people were saying that the last thing that AI is going to replace are the creative jobs.
Sure.
And now It is just the ball's rolling. It is unstoppable.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
S-
my friend is an artist, and he had this gig where he was going to design this band's logo, or their album art. And I mean, they were talking for weeks and weeks and weeks. And he mentioned that he likes to use some AI generator to like help generate ideas, and then he makes the art from that. And he like traces over it, or doesn't trace over it, but like he uses it as inspiration, right? And the band was like, "Oh, that's cool. We can play with that." And they eventually made a design that they liked, and they didn't hire him,
wow.
which is like really crappy.
Yeah.
But so I mean, that's the first thing that I've heard of, as far as like AI just taking somebody's job. And that's okay. But there's going to have to be other things to differentiate ourselves, because like ideas and mock-ups and everything are going to be so easy to make
Mm.
that it's going to be the specific style, um, that I think is going to differentiate things.